Welcome to CVM News. I'm Brianna Pacelli.
And I'm Seth Hobbs.
Sad news today is 150 people are presumed dead, according to officials, after a German passenger plane crashed in a remote part of the French Alps. President Francois Hollande called the crash of the Airbus A320 a tragedy and said the wreckage was in a hard-to-reach area not far from the town of Barcelonnette. The plane was said to be descending rapidly and controlled, leaving many people wondering just what caused this accident. Currently, there is no information on why it happened, but there is an investigation undergoing at this time.
In a chilling video released by ISIS, an Afghan man who is back from fighting in Syria, standing in front of 5 men and is intending to recruit the Afghan men to fight alongside him for ISIS. All the faces are hidden in the footage, and it is not clear if the other men are Taliban fighters or students looking to cause trouble. The man is only one of 5 recruiters that is spread across the country. There are concerns about how ISIS may expand into Afghanistan. Afghan President Ashraf Ghani says the reason is because of the collapse of Yemen, Syria, and Iraq have created an environment where instead of one weak link in the system, they can now expand into other countries. Paloma Jimenez has just had their 3rd child together, and it's a girl. Vin Diesel named his newborn girl Pauline in honor of Paul Walker's memory. Diesel states that Walker grew to become one of his closest friends. They were tight on and off the set. He got teary when he talked about why he chose a name for his daughter. Pauline was born around the same time the new movie Furious 7 was screened for the first time. The final installment in the Fast and Furious franchise hits theaters on April 3rd.
Nor'easter kicked off over the weekend with the 2nd annual Slash and Burn Bank Slalom. The Bank Slalom is a benefit event for the Molly Fund, held at the Stash Terrain Park to bring the snowboarding community together. A top-to-bottom course through the terrain park incorporated natural wooden features and wooded areas. The field of competitors in attendance ranged from East Coast local legends to pro athletes, the likes of Scotty Lago, Seth Howe, and Tim Humphries. It's not every day you have the chance to meet and compete with a pro athlete. Saturday saw 100 competitors make their way through the course vying for an individual title. On Sunday, there would be only one winner, as invited shop teams of 4 racers tucked, slash, and burn for a chance to hold the Slash and Burn Bear until next season's race. As for environmental news, Greenpeace is offering their sincere apologies to Peru for intruding on the world-renowned Nazca lines when the activists from the organization left footprints in the strictly prohibited area. Greenpeace stated that the premise behind choosing Nazca for the activity was to pair a message of climate urgency and existential threat to humanity with an artifact from ancient civilization. What they didn't know was that not even presidents or cabinet members have stepped where these activists have stepped. Luis Jamie Castillo, the Deputy Culture Minister, is looking to keep those responsible from leaving the country and charging them with destruction of archaeological monuments, a crime punishable by up to 6 years in prison.
March Madness is in full swing as there are only 16 teams left in this year's men's NCAA basketball tournament. The first round was filled with close games, and the second round was filled with upsets, as big names like Villanova, Kansas, and Virginia all were taken down. UCLA is the lowest ranked team still alive, being a number 11 seed, as number 1 seeded Kentucky looks to finish their season undefeated and win this year's championship. Sticking with college basketball news, Kentucky has a chance to make history this year and have arguably the best college basketball team ever. Yet, John Calipari didn't receive this year's National Coach of the Year award. Tony Bennett, Virginia's head coach, won this year's National Coach of the Year award, despite a round of 32 loss this past Sunday. This is a great honor as a coach, but the fact that Kentucky is 36-0 and could become the first team to ever go 40-0 in a season, how could John Calipari not be this year's National Coach of the Year? Let's not forget that John has 9 McDonald's All-Americans on his team, none of whom are seniors, and they are on the brink of going 40-0. So how did John Calipari not win the National Coach of the Year?
Only a handful of the student body was present at the 2nd annual Open Forum sponsored by the Student Government Association. It was mostly faculty and community members who showed their interest by heading to the 1787 room in the campus center on Thursday, led by members of the SGA. The main discussion topic of the forum was inclusivity. SGA defines inclusivity as how welcoming the college is to race, age, gender, LGBTQ international students, physical and mental disabilities. The school emphasizes the importance of different cultures because the population of the school and Vermont is predominantly Caucasian. Odin Osman, a member of the Multicultural Club, whose parents are from Kenya, was one of the few students at the forum. During the forum, Osman explained what his club was involved in and said it will be hosting a dodgeball tournament to promote diversity. Though the students will compete against each other, the main idea is to share food and culture from different cultures. The SGA Open Forums can be attended by anyone interested in Castleton as a community and the school.
Osheaga is back. The Montreal-based Music and Arts Festival announced its lineup earlier today for the 10th anniversary of the festival. Headlining the festival this year will be Weezer, Florence and the Machine, the Black Keys, and Kendrick Lamar. While the lineup doesn't appear to carry as many big name acts as previous years, the lineup is loaded with established artists such as Nas, The War on Drugs, St. Vincent, Run the Jewels, and Schoolboy Q, along with many more. Osheaga will take place July 31st through August 2nd on Parc Jean Dupuis in Montreal.
And that's all for today. I'm Brianna Bocelli.
And I'm Seth Hobbs. Thanks for tuning in.
I'm Michael Talbot. I'm a professor in the communication department here at Castleton. This is my first year here, my second semester, and my specialty is in film studies. So I got here and I realized we didn't have a film festival, not only not at the school, but not in the community in general, and also that there wasn't a venue at which to see foreign language films here in the area. And I felt like that was a tremendous void and one that should be remedied as quickly as possible. So I found this grant from the French-American Cultural Exchange, funded by the French Ministry of Culture to promote the French language and French culture around the world. I applied for it. We were lucky enough to get it. It gave us the opportunity to show these 6 French language films that I chose. College is meant to push you outside your comfort zone, and I think a lot of these films are things that college students, can get something out of, but maybe wouldn't seek out on their own. So I tried to pick films that would broaden their horizons by them having seen them. And I know a lot of them were compelled to go by certain classes that they have, that sort of thing, and it might not be immediately apparent what they've gotten out of the film, or they might not appreciate them now, but a year from now, 5 years from now, when they're sort of taking a holistic approach, when they've really been transformed by their liberal arts education, they might appreciate the role that seeing one or many of these films played in that. I want them to watch films produced by different cultures, films in foreign language. I want them to practice reading subtitles, which really shouldn't be an obstacle to watching films. It's just a matter of routine. They're not used to reading subtitles, so it feels like extra work. It feels like a barrier. The more you do it, the the more natural it becomes. I often don't notice when there's subtitles on a film because I'm so accustomed to watching subtitled films. Well, I'd like to make this an annual event, at least every spring that we have a film series like this, and the grant through the French organization is available annually. Many universities and colleges have gotten it on a regular basis. So my hope is that when they hear how successful our festival was, that we'll have it every year. And there are other grants to bring other films from various cultures outside the U.S. here, and I'm looking into those, so potentially we can have series that are focused around different regions or different languages. But ultimately, long-term, I'd like this to be an annual, sustainable event that's programmed not just by me, but by a variety of interested faculty that can bring a bunch of films that they're really excited and interested about to the campus every year.
My name is Dr. Robert Wanyu, and I'm here with Brianna Bocelli doing a short, brief, let's say, narrative on the joys of living. But from my perspective, and many times I'm asked to talk about what was it like when I was a kid. Well, I had a really interesting childhood because my father and mother became one as a result of World War II. My mother is from Italy, from Rome, and my father was obviously an American soldier. When I grew up surrounded by young children who were products of German moms, and French moms, Dutch moms. We all grew up without any type of prejudice. We all grew up with a concept of lovingness. There was never any of the separation, and even with ethnicities. And we all played well together. I really cannot remember incidents, and it could have been the time, world wars, heavy-duty negative, seems to balance itself out with a much more positive aftermath. So growing up in that time was very, very, it was an impassioned time about life. So it was a totally different experience growing up at that time. This was really kind of fun for me. No, it was a lot of fun, not just kind of fun. And I'm Dr. Robert Wanyu. I am an instructor here at Castleton State College, and I'm very grateful that Brianna asked me to do this. Thank you, Brianna.
Benny, Dua, yeah. In the beginning, we used to shine, oh yeah, wait. I miss the old times. Do you see the sun? It's burning out. I'm full of doubt. Ooh, I wish I knew how to make it right. Yeah, well, we always fight. Every single night to the morning light. I just gotta tell you, I don't wanna lie. I need to say goodbye to the road to run. We have to move on. Girl, we got to try. A bit of you aside. To the road to run. We have to move on. Can't believe it, I let you cry. Forgive me, Babarira. Wish you could undo it, but now I realize. Ooh, you can't deny all the pain you hide. Don't wanna live a lie. Every single day, every word you say, I just wanna tell you, I don't wanna lie. I need to say goodbye to the road to run. We have to move on. Girl, we got to try. A bit of you aside. To the road to run. We have to move on. I'm feeling so bad, Mukoka. He's so sad, Mukoka. You know safari go to Miami. Me don't want Bugatti, gotta move your body. Girl, enough. I got no love. Oh, na 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 na. I don't wanna lie. Yeah, I need to say goodbye. To the road to run. Yeah, we have to move on. Come on, girl. Girl, we got to try. A bit of you aside. Yeah, to the road to run. We have to move on. Tell me why you stay in my world? Because I sorrows. Come on, girl. Come on, girl. Come on, girl. Ooh la la. I don't wanna lie, yeah. I need to say goodbye, girl. To the road to run, ooh, girl. We have to move, we got to move, girl. We got to try, ooh, girl. A bit of you aside, yeah. To the road to run, we have to move on. I don't
Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm late. Oh my god. Nope.